Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we are learning about uh, NoSQL databases, and today's objective is to learn about the Keystore NoSQL database. Okay, my today's learning objective is about learning of key value data store. Key value data store, which is a type of NoSQL database, and the example is that we are going to consider is about Amazon DynamoDB. Okay, so we are on the third chapter of your syllabus where we are studying about NoSQL databases, and the first category of NoSQL databases, or we can say that the first architectural pattern for this NoSQL database is the key value store, which is the simplest NoSQL database, and it is very fast. So the main thing that you should remember about key value store is that it's really very fast and gives the high performance. So that's why Amazon came up with this key value store to perform to provide the high performance for their working. Okay, in the previous lecture, the we have studied about NoSQL database. So I have actually created two different PowerPoints. One is for NoSQL database, and the other is for case studies. So now for this particular topic of NoSQL, these are the university questions. Okay, okay. Can you are not replying to my good morning? Are you able to hear me properly? And can you see the presentation slide?
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. ठीक है. So this is what we are actually learning. We are learning the third chapter of your syllabus, that is NoSQL database, and there are two main like I have divided the portion into two parts. The first part is about NoSQL. Understand what is NoSQL database and what is the difference between RDBMS and NoSQL and how it handles big data problems. That is the first part of NoSQL database. That is the general information about NoSQL database that is applicable to all the types of NoSQL. Okay. Nowadays, now in real world, there are more than 200 NoSQL databases are available. So it's really a big job for a programmer to select which kind of database he has to select for his analytical application. Okay, but there are four main categories. So depending on that, like I have divided the second part of the chapter is about case studies. Okay, so I've divided the syllabus of NoSQL into two parts. First part is about general information of NoSQL, its difference between RDBMS and the issues handled, and the second part is about the case studies and the categories of NoSQL databases. Okay, so this is an important topic. At least 10 marks of question is there always, either from the first part of the syllabus or from the second part of the syllabus. So this is about, these are the questions which are asked in the previous paper from the first part of the syllabus. That is, what is the difference between RDBMS and NoSQL? What are the different architectural patterns? This is from the second topic. And this is from the second part of the syllabus. Like, what are the different architectural patterns and key value and document store? Then, what are the business drivers? That is volume, velocity, variability, agility, and discuss any two architectural patterns. This here 5 marks are for from the first part of the syllabus and 5 marks from the second part of the syllabus. This is the so let's say, are you understanding? I'm just telling you that NoSQL ka chapter I have divided into two different parts. First part is about the general information of NoSQL, and the second part is about the types of NoSQL. And types is nothing but architectural patterns. Okay, so second part of my second part is about the types, means four architectural patterns. So here they have asked for about two architectural patterns. And here it is a difference. This is from the first part of the syllabus. Difference between RDBMS and NoSQL. What are the business drivers? So this 5 marks from the first part and 5 marks from the second part. So overall, each and every paper there is a 10 marks question minimum or 15 marks maximum for this particular chapter. So when it comes to big data, how NoSQL scores over RDBMS? This is from the first part. Again, it is like advantages of NoSQL over RDBMS. So this question is nothing but this question only. So see, if you observe this entire syllabus of B computer for big data analytics, there are fixed set of questions which are asked, and if you prepare and plan properly, you can highly score the subject. And if you need to represent it properly because it's a theory. Then this is about the characteristics of NoSQL. So characteristics comes under again when we differentiate, that time we consider all the characteristics. So again it is similar to that only. Then here one of the characteristic is about the base properties, that is basically available, soft state, eventual, consistency. That is Brewer's theorem. Okay, and that is called as a CAP theorem that I told you last time. And here for the 10 marks, they are asking three different questions. What is base property? Then what is one architectural pattern? So you have to explain only one type, and then identify two applications. So this is something that you need to map this to the applications. That particular data store suitable for which type of application. That you need to identify and write it. Okay, this is for 10 marks. So overall, every paper 10 marks. So this was from the first part. From the second part of your syllabus, mm, I'll just say from this is my second part of the syllabus, and the questions which are asked from the second part are these questions, where every time like they have asked for the they've asked to explain the type of NoSQL database, and then here they are specifically telling graph store and column store, or here key value and document store, or here they are saying all four types of architectural patterns, or here they are asking for two architectural patterns. Okay, so such kind of questions are there in the exam. So overall we can say that you need to remember the characteristics of NoSQL, difference between NoSQL and RDBMS, and then the four types along with their examples and their applications. This is only the portion, and maximum minimum always 10 marks and maximum 15 marks is asked in the exam. So let's see. My today's objective is to learn about key store architectural pattern of NoSQL. Okay, key store databases, and the example is DynamoDB, Amazon's DynamoDB. Okay, so now let's see like what is NoSQL. NoSQL is not only SQL, but other than that, there are greater than 150 NoSQL databases in the market. Now, if it is a non-relational database management system for massive data. Massive data means the data is continuously increasing to big data, and it is a non-relational database management system for big data. NoSQL is a next generation database. We can also say that it is a non-relational database management system for massive data, big amount of data. And as it is a big amount of data, it is a distributed data store. Data store is distributed. Your data is not residing on one machine. It is distributed. So if your big data is distributed, the non-relational database management system is nothing but NoSQL for this distributed data store. So in one line, you can remember it is a next generation database, and it is a non-relational database management system for distributed data stores. And when the data is distributed, again the same concepts of Hadoops are there. Like this data is distributed by using the commodity hardware. Commodity hardware means a simple cheap computer with Linux operating system. So it is not that costly. It is open source. It is open source. So you don't have to pay for buying the RDBMS system. Like if you are using Oracle, then you need to want to buy the license of Oracle RDBMS to work with that. So it is a no, it is open source. Your data can be unstructured, semi-structured, structured, unpredictable, any kind of data. So all kinds of flexibility is there. There is no predefined schema. There is no structure. There are no tables. There are no joins. Then there is no SCID, but there is something called as CAP. Okay, it is highly available, highly scalable because of the commodity hardware. And even if it is not consistent, but eventually the data will be in the consistent state. So at a particular time, we can say that there may not be consistency throughout. all the clients may not see the same version, but eventually after some time they will be the data will be in the consistent state, and it's a high performance. It's very fast, quickly it can retrieve any information, fault tolerant because of the replication के लिए there are two types, master slave or peer to peer or shared. Okay, so I'll visit this again because this is a very important topic. NoSQL is a next generation database. It is a non-relational database management system for a massive amount of data that is stored across the distributed computers using commodity hardware. Okay. And if we want to compare this with RDBMS, RDBMS may, if you are using RDBMS and if you want to scale up, if your size of the data is increased, okay. Now with respect to this diagram, you remember everything, that single CPU RDBMS is cracked with high volume, high velocity, high agility, and high variability. So all these four factors, they break your single CPU RDBMS system. So when the data is continuously increased for high volume data, RDBMS, what it does is that it scale up vertically. It scale up vertically, means it try to increase the capacity of the server. And even if how much big capacity server like GPUs are used, we know that the chip is going to be overheated after some amount of time because of high volume of data. And accessing high volume of data, the chip, even if the chip is available to process the data, after some amount of time it will be overheated and it may the hardware may fail and it is not going to work. So it is RDBMS is not scalable and it is very costly, because if you want to increase the capacity of the server, you need to scrap the initial server, buy new server. Buying a new server with high capacity is very costly. Okay, so your single CPU RDBMS is breaked with high volume, and that is not the case with NoSQL. In case of NoSQL, it is a horizontal scaling is used. Horizontal scaling means your data, you are going to add new machines. If the data size is increased, add an extra machine, and that extra machine is going to share the load of the system. Okay, it is going to help you in storing the data as well as processing the data. So it is a horizontal scaling. So we call it as a scale out kind of architecture with the commodity hardware, which is cheap also. But in case of RDBMS, it is not scalable because it is a vertically scalable architecture. You increase, and so it becomes a new server is a costly thing, and again you have to shut down your machine again, migrate everything to the new server, and then again uh, uh, switch on and start the system. So system will not be available 24 by 7. And nowadays too, for all such kind of Amazon kind of applications, you cannot afford to shut down the system. Or if Facebook is there, which is using a graph data store such as Neo4j or WhatsApp, then you cannot close the system. It should be available 24 by 7. Okay. So with respect to volume, this we have studied, and but we are just revising it so that we can map these features with the Amazon DynamoDB. Okay. So before high volume, uh, RDBMS is not scalable and it is costly also because of the scale up architecture, vertical scaling, or in case of NoSQL, it is a horizontal scaling that is called as a scale out, means adding a new machine, and that is a commodity hardware, so it is not costly, and we can easily add in the background a new machine. You don't have to shut down the system. Okay, the system is highly available. Then with respect to this variety, RDBMS is a structured database. All rows and columns are fixed. All rows and columns are fixed, and we are using SQL language to access the data. So it is not flexible. Every row should have all the columns. And suppose it is a sparse kind of table where the table may lots of columns are required, but some of the rows, most of the rows are not needing some of the columns. Okay, some of the, like we have a particular special kind of customer, and that particular customer, because of the properties of that particular customer, we want to store some 15 different columns for that particular customer, and such customers are very less in the database. Then you need to, for RDBMS, you will have that columns for all the customers, and that all the customers, most of the customers will have null value. for that fields. Only few customers will have some value for that fields, and then in that case, even if it is a null value, the space is stored. The space is stored, so you need a huge space, and most of the fields are having null values. But that is and it is not flexible also, so you have to have fixed structure in mind in the beginning, and you cannot change it. And if you want to change it, then you have to use the alter table command. And alter table command means you have to shut down your rdbms system, do the changes, and again start the system, and system will not be available. So there is no flexibility, and there you need to have a fixed structure, rigid structure. And if the sparse fields are there, then it is taking so much of space. But that is not a case with this NoSQL databases, because in case of NoSQL databases, the data can be of any type, unstructured, semi-structured, structured, so highly suitable for big data. And the data is unpredictable, so you don't have to think about the schema. There is no predefined schema. There is no predefined table. Okay, so there is no predefined schema, means no, not exact structure is there. You can have a flexibility. Some of the customers will have some of the fields, some of the customers will not have that fields, and the space is not occupied for the customers who are not having that different fields. So there is no fixed or predefined schema. So you get the flexibility. Okay, and even you can store that unstructured data such as audio files, video files easily. Okay, so with respect to this um, this variability, it is not flexible. And with respect to velocity, if you remember this diagram, it's very easy for you to explain. Velocity के लिए nowadays for Amazon kind of website, so many transactions are happening at the same time, and the speed with which the data is arrived is very high. So read and write should be performed with high performance. Okay, so in case of RDBMS, we have joins, nested queries. The tables are there are relationship between the tables. One table is related to another table by using foreign key, and some complex relationships are also there. Some triggers are there. Procedures are executed, and indexing is done on values. So whenever you are doing any if the size of your table or your database management system, RDBMS system, the size if it is increased, then whenever you're performing any operation, it has to internally go through that joins and nested kind of logic, and the operation is very slow. And this is observed by Amazon whenever it became very popular, and when it was relying on rdbms system, then suddenly if there is any sale introduced, and then suddenly people start accessing a particular item, and then the system was becoming very slow, and sometimes it gets crashed. Even that we observe. Suppose in the university server, if something they announce and all the results are announced and everyone is accessing the site at the same time, or CT results are announced and everyone is accessing the site at the same time, the server is crashed, because it is based on RDBMS, and RDBMS where there are joins, nested queries, everything is there. So whenever any read or write operation is performed, then it cannot handle the speed with which the requests are coming, or it will not be able to write it very fast. So it is not giving high performance. And even I told you about alter table command. Like if you today you are having 10 columns and tomorrow you want to add 5 different columns to your table, you need to fire the alter query command. And query command will to execute it, we have to shut down the RDBMS for some time and do the alter command, and then the start the database again. So your system is not available for 24/7. Okay, plus there is okay, this is about uh, velocity. But in case of this, but in case of NoSQL databases, for variety of data we have it's the support for semi-structured, unstructured, and unpredictable data. So high variety data is also accessed with the proper high performance, because the schemes are used, and it is a data is distributed. It is designed by thinking that your data is distributed. Okay, it is this RDBMS is not designed by assuming your data is distributed. When RDBMS was invented, they never thought about distributed systems. They thought about a single server where your entire database system is executed, and so it is not designed by thinking of distributed systems. But NoSQL is designed by thinking of distributed architecture. So all the distributed card techniques are done properly in NoSQL architectures. Okay, that is not there in RDBMS. And here in RDBMS for agility part, we say that here in case of RDBMS, nowadays because of the popularity of object-oriented programming or component-oriented programming, we write our programs in the form of objects, or we write our program in the form of software components developed. And once a component is developed, we just define the interfaces, and the other components interact with this particular component through the interface. So it's thoda little bit similar to the Java ka interfaces, where you have a component defined, and the component, once it is defined, we don't go and open the component again. Once it is defined, tested, and said that it is okay, then we don't touch the component. We just see the interfaces, and the other components access this component via interfaces. So such kind of programming is very becoming popular nowadays. And so if there is any database system handling is to be needed, then we use object relational mapping. And object relational mapping may you have told you that the table will have a particular object, and the data is brought into the memory, so data is traveled, and this is taking time, and it is less agile. So if there is any change um, in the system, then it is not agile. It is not quickly. It is not able to adapt to the new change quickly, because you're in your program, you are defining the classes which are mapped with your tables of your database. These objects are mapped. Object relational mapping is used in the framework such as struts or hibernate, and a experienced programmer is needed to do such kind of programming. And you are tightly coupling a table with a particular object of a class, and the data is traveling, and it is brought into the object, and then it is available in the memory, and your program is operating on that object. Okay, normally in case of RDBMS, what we do is that whenever we file the select query, we get the records from the relational table, and they are stored in the form of an array of objects if we are getting multiple objects. And that array of object is residing in the memory, and your program is operating on that memory array of objects. So you are bringing your data from relational management system into the location where the program is residing, and it is in the form of object, and object relational mapping is there. So there are two things here: data is traveled, and if the size of the data is big, it may not be fit into the memory. Plus the other disadvantage is that the system is less agile, because if there is any change in the structure of your data, then your system is not able to quickly adapt to the change, because you will have to open your code again. You have to see the structure of the class, and then you will have to add that or change the structure of your class to have the corresponding object to store the data coming from relational database management system by firing a query. I think you are understanding. If you're not understanding, please you unmute and ask me the doubts for any particular term. If you're not understanding, you can unmute and ask me the questions. Okay. So what we are saying is that it is not less. It is not agile. So with respect to this diagram, you can explain. Okay, volume, velocity, variety, and agility. System is less agile in case of RDBMS, but that is not the case, because here there is no structure. It's flexible only. Even if you do any changes for any particular customer, the other customers are not affected. They are not residing on the same machine. That particular part of the table is residing on some other machine, and it is independent. So everything is independent, and there is all flexibility is there. So even if you bring any change into your table, like there is no exact table like RDBMS, but we can view the data in the form of a table for NoSQL. So even if some rows may have some structure, other rows may have some other different structure, that is allowed because it is defined by thinking of unstructured data only. Okay, so here mm, there is no predefined schema, no table, no joins, and no fixed structure. So it is agile also. Okay, so here NoSQL high volume is handled by using commodity hardware, which is a cheap hardware, and scale out architecture, addition of new machines. We can um, allow the high volume. Then it is highly variety of data is there, and it is agile also. Okay. And the high velocity data can be accessed because the databases are designed for providing high performance. NoSQL databases. Okay, with respect to consistency, the advantage is there for RDBMS. RDBMS provides you tight consistency and ACID property. So this is the advantage of RDBMS, that your data is highly reliable and it is consistent. Okay, so tight consistency means if even if your data is distributed. In case of RDBMS, suppose you want to distribute the data, so your data can be horizontally divided. You have distributed RDBMS systems. Distributed relational database management systems are also there. Like whenever the distributed system became popular, this RDBMS also they tried for distributed RDBMS systems. For distributed RDBMS system, you can divide your table horizontally and store one part of your table on one machine, other part of the table on other machine. So it is horizontally partition. Or vertically partition may you keep few columns at one location and few columns at other locations. So few columns with the entire table at one location, and few columns with all the rows at other location. That is called as vertical partitioning. So you can divide your RDBMS into horizontal partitions or vertical partitions, but then we are using shared RAM or shared disk technique to access the data. Okay, and sharing of RAM, like some part of data is to be accessed. If shared disk is used or shared RAM is used, then the programming of a distributed system becomes complicated because of semaphores, race conditions, acquiring lock, will everything will come here. Okay, but the advantage of RDBMS is a tight consistency. If anything, in case of replications or whenever any transaction is happening, immediately the changes are reflected and everyone sees the same view, consistent view of the system. But that is not a case with the most of the NoSQL databases. So that is only the issue of NoSQL databases, that it is a eventual consistency. Eventual consistency means the event is occurred right now. The data is not in a consistent state at that particular time, but eventually, along with some time gap, you will see all the data in the consistent state. But if we observe, these NoSQL databases are very much suitable for analytical kind of queries. And for analytical kind of queries, we are not bothered about the write operations. We just want to perform read operations most of the time. So even if it is not tightly consistent, then also we are able to manage to fire the queries. Okay, so what you have to keep in mind about NoSQL is that it's a next generation database, non-relational database management system for massive amount of data that is stored on a distributed in a distributed fashion by using commodity hardware. Mm, so it is highly scalable. You can go on adding the machines. It is highly available because of fault tolerance mechanism of Hadoop. And it is easy replication. We don't have to do much for doing replicate for keeping a replicated data. Data is replicated by default. 3 copies are stored, and we don't have to do anything for that. The system is doing the replication. So replication is very easy. It is happening in the background, and because of the replication, when the machine is failed, data is highly available, and joins are not there. There is no fixed schema, no indexing on the values. Because of that, also it is highly available, because even if any changes to be done, the system, we don't have to shut down the system. And it is open source, so less costly. Then it can handle all different kinds of data type: unstructured, structured, semi-structured, unpredictable. It is not following ACID property, but a brewer has came up with the term called as base. Base is a term that is basically available soft state eventual consistency. So basically available means it is available. Soft state means the always the system in a is in a particular state. Soft state means always the system, your system is in a particular state, and states are transited. And then eventually consistency means eventually the consistency will be there. And for base is NoSQL follows base, and base may Brewer said that something about a cap theorem, where cap means consistency, A means availability, P means partition tolerance. Consistency, they are saying that eventual consistency highly available, it should be available for all the times. And partition tolerance means even if the some portion of your system is inaccessible, still the system should be in the functioning condition. And the cap theorem says that for any distributed system, it is not, it is after doing any all kinds of research, they have came up with the conclusion that the distributed systems cannot satisfy all three criteria. Any distributed system, whenever your data is distributed or your programs are distributed, any kind of distributed system cannot satisfy, it is impossible for the system to satisfy all three factors: consistency, availability, and partition tolerance. It will follow any two of them. Okay, so the system is designed in such a way that it will follow any two criteria. And NoSQLs are highly, they are not, they are just having eventual consistency, but they are following availability and partition tolerance. But there are some NoSQL databases which are having two different sets. Okay, so because there are multiple NoSQL databases are there, and as per your requirement, you can select. Okay, and for replication, either master slave architecture is used or peer to peer. For NoSQL, they are not sharing any RAM or they are not sharing any disk, but they for data. So shared nothing architecture is there. That is a very good advantage, and because of that, the programming is very simple. And for replication, it uses either master slave technique or peer to peer mechanism. So master slave may, like HBase is the example of master slave, and Cassandra is example for peer-to-peer replication. In case of master slave architecture, a master like name node is a master है. Like that for HBase you have HMaster, and that HMaster is going to take care about the replication and creating the replicas at slaves. Similar to Hadoop architecture of name node and data node. So master slave, my master is responsible for doing the replication, and in case of peer-to-peer, there is no master. In case of peer-to-peer, there is no master. All the nodes are of the same capacity, and they are communicating with each other and spreading the information about what data they have, and replication is going to happen. Okay, so it is a peer-to-peer architecture, or it can be a master-slave architecture. For master-slave architecture replication, example of NoSQL database is HBase. And peer-to-peer replication database example is a Cassandra. Okay. So this was about this, like what I told you just now. You need to remember everything about NoSQL databases. And if you remember this particular slide and whatever is there in this red color information along with this diagram, it's very easy to remember now. Okay. So what we discussed is about volume, velocity, variety, and agility, and how RDBMS fails and how NoSQL handles this. Okay. So we'll go ahead. Now these are the types of NoSQL databases. Four main categories of NoSQL databases: key value data store, or it can be a document based data store, or it can be a column based, or it can be a graph store. And I have selected these case studies. You can select any case study or any database you are familiar with, and you can explain. If in the exam, if they are saying that you explain key value architectural pattern, you can select anything, whatever you want. You can select Oracle NoSQL or Scalaris or this Redis server. I have selected Amazon DynamoDB. And this all these four types are also there in your textbook. Okay, so key value is the simplest NoSQL architecture. So I have taken this for the first time to explain you. It is a very simple architecture. What is the architecture here for key value data store? Everything is in the form of key and value. Everything is in the form of key value. You just have a key and corresponding value. You just have a key and corresponding value. Everything is stored in the form of key value. And key is nothing but the attribute name. What is meant by attribute? Attribute means the column of your table. So if your column is like a name of the customer. So the key is uh, the name, and the value is the value, that customer ka name. Okay. So in case of key value, everything is stored in the form of key value. Only pairs, key and corresponding value, key and corresponding value. So it is simplest. And the example is Amazon DynamoDB. Okay. So this is like a key value store where you have a key and the corresponding value, nothing else. Then the second type is document based. This is also similar to key value, but here your key is maybe the document name, and the value is the actual document. So it is a key with the complex data structure called as document. It is a modification of key value document. So we need to see the whenever we will learn both the data stores. After that, we'll see the differences between key value and document store. So document store maybe you have a key and key for the document, and through that key you access the document. Now document can be a structured document, semi-structured document, or any kind of document. So your key will have the corresponding value as a complex data structure. Okay, in this case, or it can be a document. And in that document, again, you can have a key value pairs, and again, you can have another document inside a document. So this becomes a little complex compared to key value. Okay, so document store ka example is MongoDB, and these documents have key value pairs and nested documents. Okay, then the third type is column based. In case of column based, like in case of RDBMS, you're all if there is any particular row, so and if that row has 5 columns, okay, if the row has 5 columns, all the 5 columns ka information is stored together. Means the information of a row is stored in a consecutive memory locations inside the memory. Whenever in that RDBMS, your all the column values for a particular row are stored sequentially. So even if say, there are null values, some memory is allocated and that is getting vested. And when you access the data, you access the entire row. Then you access the second row. You access the first row, then you access the second row, you access the third row. And if you're interested in only 2 columns, then you filter the data from that row, and you get only 2 columns to display. Okay, so in the select query, if you say that select only customer ID and name, the entire row may filtering is happening, and you are getting only 2 columns displayed. But all the columns are stored for a particular row in a sequential manner, and the database is accessed row wise in case of RDBMS. But in case of column based, you have something called as column family, and there are columns inside the column family. So the whatever is there inside one column family is only sequentially stored. All other things are random, are not stored in in a sequence. Okay, so it stores the column family data together. Okay, so you can extract the entire column. Whenever you're extracting the entire column, other column families columns are not extracted. You can extract only that particular columns of all the rows. Okay, so you access column wise. Database access is column wise. And the example is HBase, and Google's Bigtable. First, Google came up with this, that is Bigtable. So Google's Bigtable is a column-based data store and NoSQL data store. And HBase got developed or invented after Bigtable. When Google released Bigtable as the technology, they released it to study for others to study. Then Hadoop में HBase